We have our first big upset. Turkey, bums, get out of here. You're going home. Did all that in Turkey with the whole bus and everything for nothing. How do you go from second in CONMEBOL to almost on the borderline of being eliminated from this World Cup? Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the World Cup review. This is episode 2 and man, do we have some upsets. Man, do we have some terrible teams. We're all going to get into it in this video here. Let's start up with Group A. We have the top two teams, in my opinion, facing off against each other. Mexico very sound defensively as they proved. Even bringing in Edson Alvarez after the red card in the first game proved to be not that big of an issue, and they were able to squeeze by in the win against South Korea, albeit a very lucky goal. But hey, a win is a win, and this is the World Cup. Czech Republic and South Africa drew. I didn't really care much about that game. I have a feeling that both of those teams are going to be eliminated. Whoever finishes third is still going to be eliminated in the next round because Czech Republic play Mexico and South Africa play Korea. And after that, I don't think either team has a chance. I expect Mexico to win. I expect South Korea to win. It's going to be first, second, and third place Czechia on 1 point, and they are going to go out of this World Cup. In Group B, we saw an absolute thumping by Canada over Qatar. 6 goals, so many red cards. Feel very bad for Ismail Kone. He was doing pretty decent during that game until he got his leg broken, so hopefully he's doing well. It's not something I really like to see. Something concerning with how the refs are managing these things, because something like this is going to happen more often than not if they're going to let fouls go on, especially as we go deeper into the tournament. Switzerland were able to get the win over Bosnia and Herzegovina. Weren't really doing much the first half, but in the second half, they really picked it up. And now it's going to be another showdown for first in the game against Canada versus Switzerland. Canada, obviously with the goal difference, has the advantage. And to be honest, on their home soil and with how Switzerland play, I see Canada taking this. I think Jesse March has his team set up pretty well, at least from that second game, but obviously Switzerland is going to be a much tougher opponent than Qatar and much tougher than Bosnia and Herzegovina, but Switzerland has not really shown me anything as well. Bosnia and Herzegovina is going to play Qatar. Who wins? I'm not really sure. They're both pretty bad overall. Bosnia relying on Edin Dzeko, and then Qatar relying on Afif, who all he does is magic trick celebrations. Not really sure what to expect from that. And in Group C, which we move on to, now this is one that is 100% going to come down to goal difference. I expect Brazil to beat Scotland in their next game. I expect Morocco to beat Haiti in their next game. Obviously, Morocco had a good goal difference against Haiti, but can Morocco do a little bit better? Potentially. I mean, Morocco, they've been scoring goals. They've scored how many goals did they score? They've only scored 1 goal in each game, but this is Haiti. It's going to be a lot worse of an opponent. After they scored against Scotland, they weren't really able to break them down any further. Scotland definitely had their chances, but Morocco has its weaknesses. As for Brazil, they should beat Scotland. However, the big battle is going to be in midfield. Can Paquetá, Fabinho, or Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes beat the midfield of Scott McTominay, Ferguson, John McGinn, and Ryan Christie? It's a very industrious midfield on both sides. We'll really just have to see who is able to take advantage of what. In Group D, we have our first big upset. Turkey, bums, get out of here. You're going home. Did all that in Turkey with the whole bus and everything for nothing. Lost to Paraguay, despite having an extra man for over half the game due to the first red card due to mouth covering. So if you do this, you're going to get a red card, but please don't send me off right now. But it's an absolutely embarrassing tournament for Turkey. You have one of the most expensive squads. I think it was like the 13th most expensive squad at the World Cup. Like, you cannot perform like that. You genuinely cannot perform like that. Kenan Yildiz, silent. Burak Yilmaz, silent. Artukoglu, silent. Koçu, silent. Arda Güler tried to create some chances, but no cigar. It's pretty embarrassing to watch it, which also means that Paraguay, when they play Australia, it is essentially winner takes second place. Australia, obviously, with the better goal difference currently because they weren't battered 4-1 by the mighty United States. Come on, boys! But we will take. We will see what happens. Will Paraguay have enough firepower even without Miguel Almiron? Who knows? At least they'll have 11 men on the pitch, at least from the start. Australia, very physical team. They like to fight, but will they be as amped up for this game as they were when they played the United States? Got a little bit physical, but the USA was able to get the win. Really happy to see Alex Freeman get his goal in the World Cup. He has had an astounding rise as a player, and they'll be able to rest their players for the round of 32, where it'll be back in the Bay Area, my home area. Unfortunately, I can't afford the tickets because it's just not worth it. I would love to see the U.S. in the knockout stages, but at Levi Stadium, it's going to be extremely expensive. We'll see who they play in the next round, but whoever it is, they're getting creamed. That's all I gotta say. Group E, we saw a very interesting game between the top two in Germany and Ivory Coast. Germany wasn't looking that great at the beginning. Wasn't able to build chances. They were having possession with no real end product. Ivory Coast doing what they do, counter-attacking. Franck Kessié in the midfield. He's been a little bit underrated this tournament. I mean, he did score the goal, but like for the people getting shouts during that game were Christ and Nemecha. But Franck Kessié was amazing during that game. And not to take anything away from any of the other Ivory Coast players, but Germany making their super sub at the end, bringing on Dennis Undav. Great decision by Julian Nagelsmann. Helps them get the win at the very end, and that should see them into the round of 32 pretty comfortably. There's nothing they can do against Ecuador that would cause them to get knocked out of first place. Ecuador, on the other hand, another large embarrassment alongside Turkey. How do you go from second in CONMEBOL to almost on the borderline of being eliminated from this World Cup? 1 point. You drew against Curacao. Like, come on. That is absolutely embarrassing from Ecuador. To have the players that you have, yes, Ener Valencia is a bit old, but you chose to start him. You have other players that can carry this load. To draw against Curacao and, like, come on. This is a sham on CONMEBOL, if anything. It's just really bad to watch. And unless they do anything against Germany, can they even do anything? I'm sure Germany's going to play their second team, but I don't think Ecuador have the quality in the final third to even beat through Germany's second team, even if they have their starters. Going on to Group F, two big wins for the two teams at the top, but the Netherlands look like they are going to take this group on goal difference, assuming nothing crazy happens. I mean, they were able to absolutely demolish Sweden 5-1. And next up, they have Tunisia, who is pretty bad. They might be one of the worst teams of this tournament. Sweden did not look any better. Isak was trying, but they really, coming up against a good team, you can see how they really are. Japan, they were able to beat Tunisia, and they're going to play Sweden next. So it's good. They're going to have to at least draw to hold second place. They cannot lose in this case, but Japan, they did what they had to do against Tunisia. Probably would have liked more goals to at least, especially knowing that the Netherlands were going to play Tunisia next. But it looks like Japan for Netherlands first, Japan second, Sweden third, coming out of this group. Going on to Group G, another boring group, but we actually got some movement. Egypt getting the 3-1 win over New Zealand. They were down at first, and we thought they were out, but Egypt came back. Mo Salah doing the work that he's done all his career, most of his career, all his Liverpool career. And Roma career. You wouldn't say he did that at Chelsea, but carrying his team, helping them get that win, and they do play Iran next, so this is going to be a big battle at the top. Iran drew with Belgium, definitely had chances. They are definitely motivated this tournament, just playing on U.S. soil. But Belgium, especially without Jeremy Doku, just look absolutely toothless. They are so, for a team that has Kevin De Bruyne as your attacking mid, it doesn't make sense how little creativity that the team seems to have. I mean, they have good players on paper, but they're just not able to put it together. I mean, maybe this is a coaching thing, but they are seriously underperforming. Not as bad as Turkey or Ecuador, but seriously underperforming where they should be at. They should beat New Zealand though. I mean, they just have the quality over New Zealand, and especially with Doku coming back to take on their wingers, like it's going to be a completely different game. So they should win, but the big game is going to be Egypt versus Iran. I feel like that is going to be an absolute dogfight, especially through the middle. Group H, another big surprise. The big news this time was Uruguay drawing with Cape Verde. So Spain's draw was not a fluke. Cape Verde is actually legit. They were able to get 2 goals, and they probably could have scored more. Uruguay looked terrible. Like, yes, I know you don't have Luis Suarez or Diego Forlan or Edinson Cavani, but you need to do better as Uruguay. I mean, you have a star-studded midfield in Federico Valverde, Manuel Ugarte, and Rodrigo Bentancur. Yes, your best center back in Ronald Araujo is hurt, but that was also Marcelo Bielsa's fault. But you need to do better against a team like Cape Verde. Spain, on the other hand, they took care of business against Saudi Arabia, and the Saudis unknowingly find themselves at the bottom of the table, especially after drawing their first game. Spain, they look like they figured out some sort of formula, I guess because they're not playing a super defensive team, but it's going to be interesting to watch the Spain versus Uruguay game on Friday. Spain just need a draw, I believe, no, they need more than a draw in the case of goal difference. So they probably should try and win this game, especially depending on the Cape Verde Saudi Arabia game. But I don't see any big surprises here. But we may see Cape Verde in the round of 32. What a story that would be for the little nation. I would be amazed to see that, but I could not be happier for them. Group I. So we saw a Norway versus Senegal game, which was very close. Very, very good game. Holland obviously getting his 2 goals, keeping up with the top goal scorers in the World Cup. But Senegal had their chances, but they didn't look like the same team that played France. They looked tired. They looked unmotivated. It's like Senegal didn't want to play. And that's funny to say because this is a World Cup. You should want to play. But right now, they are at risk of getting eliminated. Yes, they play Iraq, who is bottom. But Senegal have not won a game either. So, I mean, Senegal, for the players that they have, should be doing a lot better. This is a team that's bringing on Iliman Ndiaye off the bench, who I think is a wonderful, wonderful winger. They should not be on 0 points. But the last game, France versus Norway. France, they look good. I mean, I said this the last time. France look like they are going to win this tournament just by the way they're playing. That front four is absolutely ridiculous. And they seem to not have any weaknesses in their team. Norway, they kind of look a little bit weak defensively. And even attacking wise, if it doesn't come through, they're not able to really build up. Like most of their goals have been a little bit scrappy and then having Holland finish it. I see France taking this group with a win. Norway losing that game, but I do see Senegal beating Iraq, as bad as Senegal have been in this tournament. Group J. We'll start off with the game that I didn't even care to watch, Algeria versus Jordan. I did see that Jordan was winning for a bit, which would have been a surprise result for sure, but Algeria eventually scored twice. I mean, they just have the quality over Jordan, and we'll see what they do against Austria. From what I've seen of Algeria and Austria, they look about on the same level. So this is going to be a very interesting game for who gets second place. As for Argentina, though, they need to have answers outside of Messi. Like, Messi has scored all 5 of your goals, and yes, the team has been very solid defensively, but the teams you're going up against are not the best attacking-wise. They leave a lot of space, and that's going to be exposed when you come up against a team like Spain, like France, or any of the bigger teams in this tournament. We'd have to see how it goes on, but Argentina are right now. They are through to the next round. Actually, that is that's guaranteed, and they have Jordan next, so they're probably going to rest a lot of their players. As for Algeria versus Austria, that's going to be a fun game to watch in Group J. As for Group K, the game just finished between Colombia and Democratic Republic of Congo. Colombia squeezing out the 1-0 win. As much, even though they're top of the table right now, they are going to struggle a lot versus Portugal. A lot of the issues defensively that they saw, they were kind of covered up because the DR Congo did not have that good of an attack. And I also don't think their attack is all that great. They're a very counter-attacking team. They were playing it long a lot. We'll see how that goes when you come up against a solid defense like that of Portugal. Portugal, by the way, coming out, I believe it was 5-1 winners. Is it 5-1 or? Yeah, I believe it was 5-0 winners against Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan, not really that great. I don't think they're the worst team in the tournament. I think there are a few worse teams. I think Jordan's worse than them, Iraq, Tunisia as well. But they're just not good enough. And they're going to play Democratic Republic of Congo next. Congo should get the win there to get the 3 points and push them into the next round. But Uzbekistan, I don't see them even trying to put up a fight. I don't think they're good enough. But Colombia versus Portugal, that is going to be the game to watch. Make sure you are free during that time because you're not going to want to miss that game. It's going to be a dogfight, that is for sure. Group L, and we call it Group L because England are not playing that well. I mean, that was a dreadful attacking performance against Ghana. Ghana, the Black Stars, maybe this was getting Thomas Partey back, which is what helped them play like this. But they were very solid defensively. Probably should have won because they probably should have had a penalty. Not probably, they definitely should have had a penalty. As a horrid tackle by Ezri Konsa, and Pickford should be sent off too. How England escaped that with a draw, they should be clutching their pearls after that game. And if they're going to do the same thing against Panama, they might suffer as well. However, Panama is not that great of a team. Really didn't have any ideas going forward except for crossing the ball in. And that was kind of exposed by Croatia. A Croatian side that I didn't think was that great either. But they were just able to get the goal and get into the lead during that game, get the 3 points. Modric, of course, just pulling the strings. But really, I don't see any of the youth players really pushing Croatia across the line. If they can get a point off Ghana, they may go through, but that's also going to be very tough because I think they're going to struggle a lot against this Ghanaian side. But and here is the table currently of the third place teams. As you can see, Congo, Ecuador, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Senegal are currently out if things stayed like this right now. However, what can we see? Sweden, they play Japan next. That could be trouble for them. They're only on 3 points, and if they don't draw that game, it could be lights out for Sweden. Scotland also with a tough game. They play Brazil. They're gonna have to get salvage a draw to stay in. Croatia. They play Ghana. Ghana is definitely a lot better than them, but it's a lot closer than the gap between Sweden and Japan or Scotland and Brazil. Algeria play Austria. Those two are probably the most even match of the third place teams right now. So I would expect Algeria to be able to get a result. Paraguay play Australia. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be dirty. This is going to be this is not going to be a very pretty game to watch. I really don't know which way it's going to go. Australia are in the higher position right now because they beat Turkey, but also Paraguay beat Turkey. So we'll see. Cape Verde plays Saudi Arabia. They have a chance. I hope they actually get a win and not a draw because we would want to see them through. But let's hope they get the win because I would love to see Cape Verde in the round of 32 just for the shits and giggles. Belgium play New Zealand, and while Belgium should win on paper, that hasn't been how it's gone the entire tournament for Belgium. So I would just be a little careful to place money on that if I was a betting man. Czech Republic play Mexico, and although Mexico is going to play their second team, Czech Republic look completely out of it. Like, they don't look like a cohesive unit at all. So I don't think I'd trust them. I would rather trust the Democratic Republic of Congo, who are playing Uzbekistan. They should get the win there. They've had 2 very tough games so far, but this one should be a lot easier to get them the win. Ecuador, as I said, they played Germany. I don't think they're getting past Germany's second team, and we could see an early exit for second place in CONMEBOL. Absolute embarrassment of a World Cup for them if they get knocked out. Bosnia and Herzegovina, they are playing Qatar. They've got a chance. They definitely have a chance. Qatar is pretty bad. Bosnia and Herzegovina have some quality. It's really going to come down to fine margins during this game. But I mean, and then Julian Lopetegui for Qatar has to figure out what to do with the 50 red cards it seems that they've gotten this tournament. But it'll be very interesting to see. And then lastly, Senegal play Egypt. Iraq. I apologize. The flags got me mixed up. But Senegal play Iraq. They should win that despite them being so terrible in the last game. We'll see how it goes. Those are the matches. Definitely a lot to watch this upcoming week. I will be at the USA versus Turkey game. Unfortunately, I won't get to see the stars because they're most likely going to be rested. But it's going to be a nice send-off to Turkey that I will be able to give off. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be doing this again for round 3 and all the later rounds. Make sure you follow and subscribe. And without further ado, peace.